Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Guerda, Pierre, and I'm a fashion designer and fashion educator. Today I am going to teach you guys how to make a pattern for a non-waistband skirt, which is very nice, very sexy, and very short, not short, but it's about a 22-inch length. If you want to know how to make that, follow me. So let's get started. Okay, what you're going to need, you're going to need paper, either white or brown paper. You're going to need your pencil. You're going to need your pair of scissors. If you have a notcher, you're also going to need that. Of course, you're going to need your tape measure, your straight ruler, and also your curve ruler, which is your hip curve ruler. And you're also going to need your hip measurement. Okay, I'm gonna do it on with my measurement. Okay, I'll do 42, and then you're also gonna need your waist measurement, which is I'll do 30. Okay. Oh well, let's 32. I don't want to lie to you guys. 32. Anyway, and you're also going to need the length. Let's say if I want the finished length of my skirt is going to be 21 inches, or between 21 and 22 inches. I'll do 22. Okay, so you're going to need to take all these measurements, especially your waistline, your hips, and you're good to go. Okay, so this is my paper. I'm gonna cut it in half. So I'm gonna have one for the one side, one piece for the back, and one piece for the front. If you want, you can always do a double. You can double the paper for the front, but I'm gonna save some paper, so I'm just gonna do one side, and then when I'm cutting it, I'll just take the center to the edge of the fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to trace some lines. First of all, I'm going to go on top of the paper. I'm going to trace a straight line. So if you want to get a nice straight line, you can use your L-shape ruler. Okay. Go all the way. Okay. Now whatever length that I want, I'm also going to add my 1/2 inch seam allowance and my 1.5 inch the hem, which is 21 plus 2 is 23 inches. So I'm going to mark 23 inches down, and I'm also going to do another straight line all the way across. Right now we're building the length of the skirt. Okay, so all the way across, this is it. Now the width, my hips are, so far we have 2 lines. So my hips, the hip measurement is 42 divided by 4, it's 42 divided by 2 is 21. 21 divided by 2, to make it easier for you guys, is 11.5. So I'm going to go 11.5 across. I'm going to go from the waist area down to 8.5 inches, which is going to be my hip line. This is it. So I said 11.5 inches, and I'm also going to add another 1.5 inch for ease allowance, and also my 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. So altogether it's about 13 inches, okay? 13 inches. So once I'm done with that, then I'm going to trace another straight line all the way down. Make sure you have your mark all the way across. Okay. So now this is my pattern. This is the beginning of my pattern. So you can see with the skirt, we're gonna build the shape, the hip shape, by using the curve ruler, and from here to there, this is the same measurement as the hem is the same as the hip line, which is 8 inches down this way. So now I'm going to do my dots now. My dots, let's say this is the center of my skirt, which is the front center, okay? Then from the front, I'm going to do 3 inches across and mark my first notch, which is the apex line going all the way to the waistline. Then I want to add an extra, let's say 1.5 inches for the dot. So it's 1.5 for the dot. This is where my dot is going to be. The length of the dot is usually like 3.5 inches, so I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch down 3.5, and I'm going to place a mark. Once I place the mark, and I'm going to trace a triangle shape, which is this way. Then you're also going to go that way. This would be a triangle shape, okay? So far, this is what you have. Now remember, my waist, I'm going to go back right now to my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 32, which is 16.5. So 16.5, 16 divided by 2 is going to give me 8. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start from, this is 3, write it down, 3 inches. So remember I added 1.5 inches already for ease and then for the seam allowance. So therefore I'm going to go from, I still have 5 to add on this side plus the 1.5, which is 6.5. Okay, so from this dot I'm gonna go 6.5. Okay, and this is my mark. Okay, this is it. You guys see it? This is my dot. This is the center line. This is gonna be the notch, and then this is the end. Now here comes the fun part. I'm going to use my ruler. Let me just keep the paper like that way so that way you guys can see. You see, this is the best ruler, which is the curve. So I'm going to play around it, play with it until I'm going to keep, this is my hip line. I'm going to keep working with the ruler until I get a very nice shape where it's going to fall exactly on that line. And I'm going to show you guys the curve. I love using this curve ruler, and some people just do it by hand, but me, I like to use my rulers just to give it a much nicer, accurate line. You see, this is the shape. See, very nice and curvy. As you can see, it just like on this skirt. You see, this is it. Now, all seam allowances are already been added, and remember I said 1.5 inches, so I'm going to mark my 1.5 inches, and I'm going to put a notch right here. This is a straight skirt. I'm going to leave it just like that. And also I've already added my seam allowance at the waistline. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shape my dot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a quarter. I'm going to raise this line, just give it a 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to go, just use your pencil and kind of just do it this way. You can actually use one of those small curves and kind of go this way. See, go up, and then take this down, use it again. See, there you have the shape. So this is the dot, this is the waistline, this is the side seam, very nicely in curve, and here you go. You guys gonna have to excuse me for my alarm. It's ringing, but it's not going to stop me. Okay, so this is the front. Now for the fabric, you're gonna place it, once you cut all the excess, and you're gonna place the pattern, the fabric, and then you're gonna place it on, this is gonna be your center line. So you can always mark it. You can always, okay, there's the grain line. I'm adding the straight line. That's going to represent the grain line of the fabric, which is parallel to the selvage of the fabric. So I can put front skirt, cut 1, since it's only one piece of paper, so I'm going to put unfold, so that way whoever's cutting it, they'll know. Then I'll just go like this, put a small line, and put fold line, just in case they don't read. And then this is a size 12, I'll just going to put a size 12 there, and then I'm going to put self, which is the main fabric. And you're going to cut all the excess, and then for the other piece of paper, you're going to take it, and you can actually place it, use the tracing wheel, you can place it once, you can place the other piece of paper on top at the bottom, and then what you're going to do, you're going to leave enough space for you to add seam allowance to the center back, because you're going to put a zipper on the back. You're going to put a zipper. This is the zipper, centered zipper, okay, on the center back. So you're definitely going to need to add seam allowance. So seam allowance, I usually do 1/2 inch, but if you want to do 1 inch, in case if you gain weight, to have a little bit more room. But my seam allowance for my seams is 1/2 inch, especially if you're going to use an invisible zipper instead of a regular zipper. And you cut everything. You can cut them separately once you trace everything or pin everything down. Just cut. And here you go. In the back, for the dot, the back dot, you can add an extra inch, which is probably going to be 4.5 inches long. So it's going to be, if I can use another colored pencil, so that way you'll see it. So okay, now that we did the front and the back of the skirt, now we're going to work on the facing. You do have, it doesn't have a waistband, but you got to have a facing that goes inside. This one has a lining. You don't have to put a lining. You just have to do this facing. See, all around. This is the facing. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the facing. So what you're going to do, you're going to, this is my front. I'm going to fold my dot, because when you're sewing the skirt, you're going to sew the dot first, and then you put the facing. The skirt facing on. So let me just pin it down. And take another piece of paper, wide enough for the width of the waistband. of the waistline. So this is my fold line. I'm going to place it on the fold of that paper. Fold. Then trace. See, it gives you like a curve. Then you're going to trace this line. And I usually do 3 inches down, between 2 to 3.5. Let's say I would do 2.5, and then trace the side up to the length of your facing. And there you go. So once again, I'm going to use this ruler just to give it a better, to actually shape it in a nicer, see, connect all the lines, because you want to be able to keep the same shape. Okay, so now this is my 2.5 inches. I'm just going to go around the same width, 2.5 all the way around. Okay, once again, I'm going to use my ruler and connect all the dash lines. Okay, there you go. And I'm going to do the grain line, and I'm going to write down front skirt facing. Okay, it's going to cut 1 self, and you're also going to cut 1 interfacing. With this should be in red. Since I'm doing it on this brown paper, I'll just use it's going to be interfacing, which is right now. So this is going to be your facing, and you do the same thing for the back. You're going to fold the dot again. This on that. And now I can use whatever's left over here. And this time it's not going to be on the fold. It's going to be away from the fold, because you're going to cut 2 pieces. Okay. And the length is 2.5. I'll just trace it like that, 2.5, and I'll go. Okay. I'm going to use my ruler again, just to get a nicer, make sure it's nice and neat. And also the 2.5 inches, and I'm going to go this way, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. There we go. As you work with the ruler, if you have to pivot the ruler a little bit, just do that, and so forth. And once again, okay, back face, back skirt facing, running a little bit fast. Okay, this time it's going to cut 2 self and 2 interfacing. Okay, the interfacing, it comes in white or black. It's when you cut it and then you glue it on, and it gives the waist, it gives the skirt a little bit of weight, foundation, so that way it stays on it. This is it. Now that you have everything that you need to make your skirt, okay, then you, of course, you're going to cut all the excess. Have fun doing it. It was a pleasure. So if you have any questions, leave it below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.